select board meeting to order. We'll thank CTSB for videotaping our meeting. And first thing on our agenda is approval of meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for May 11th and 2 sets for May 15th.
So moved. Excuse me, second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good. Moving on. Announcement of FY24 appointments. I would be happy to let you do it, but if you'd like me to, I will.
Whatever you want, you're the chairman.
Well, you know how that just went. Robin, would you like to do the announcements?
Okay, Cultural Council, I'm just going to read who's applied. There are still vacancies on many of these committees and boards, and we have those listed on the website. So Agricultural Commission, Kathy Orlando. Animal Control Officer, Cassie Keeley. Animal Inspector, Cassie Keeley. BRPC Delegate, Sari Hoy. BRPC Delegate Alternate, Renee Wood. Board of Assessors, Lou Levine. Building Inspector, Paul Green. Commission on Disabilities, Pam Mercer. Conservation Commission, Renee Wood for 6 months. Constable, James McGarry and Bruce Person. There's 2 vacancies, 2 people have applied. Council on Aging, Michelle Harwood, Nadine Hauber. Cultural Council has 2 vacancies. We have 3 people, Christine Valentini, Dorothy Maffei, and Megan Warren. Executive Director to the Council on Aging, Kathy Warren. Gas and Piping Inspector, Bob Krupski. Gas and Piping Inspector Alternate, Robert Gennari. Housing Commission, Dorothy Maffei, Sari Hoy, and Susan Butler. Parking Clerk, Phyllis Joyce. Planning Board Alternate Member, Pat Levine. Plumbing Inspector, Bob Krupski. Plumbing Inspector Assistant, Robert Gennari. Police Officer, Reserve Intermittent, Claude Jean Calix. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's JC, he works for the police department. Recycling Coordinator, Renee Wood. Sanitation Inspector, Scott Smith. Town Council, KP Law. Zoning Board of Appeals has 3 vacancies, Eric Carlson, Allison Lassu, Mark Bicchetti, and a ZBA alternate, Pat Levine.
May I make a comment?
Yes, ma'am.
Rhonda, do we have need for Conservation Commission alternates?
Yes.
So we have no one who's applied for that.
No. And I'm not sure, did that make our list of vacancies? We can put it on. Okay, so we have no.
And with mine, I just want to let you, as I discussed with you, I would be available for 6 months maximum in case nobody else applies for that position. Thank you.
You're welcome. So that leaves us with the appointments for tonight, or the announcement of appointments, not the appointments themselves. They will be at our next regularly scheduled meeting. Moving on to item 3, discussion possible action regarding disc golf installation at Town Park. Mr. Brooks.
Yes. This is an updated map.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah, in talking with Renee on Memorial Day, we went out and took a walk through the park. I think I've got a layout that's tolerable on both ends. If any Little League function is going on, that the hole that is near the Little League field won't be used. The basket will not be there. Nothing to throw to. And we'll put it to the alternate basket, which will be in the woods to the right of the gray shed. And for that, for what would be the alternate hole, we're not going to put in a permanent tee box. We're just going to throw from the grass. Because it's the alternate, there's no reason to put in 2. So I think everything else, pretty much as we walk through, Bob, everything else stays the same. Everything's out in the woods and up through the rocks.
I asked Andy to bring a map so we would all make sure that we saw the same thing. And
Right now, what I'd like, actually Saturday, I've got some guys coming, portable baskets. And we're gonna go out there, do a little play test, get a feel for exactly our distances and whatnot. And then hoping that we can have kind of a grand opening at the Sheffield Fair. Which doing that would only mean closing one of the holes, which is the 9th hole, which is the one I believe you said they usually have some animals along that right-hand side. Yeah, we don't need to use that hole at all. Like I said, Sheffield's Fair is for one day, so.
Great.
So I just need to be reminded, where are we at this moment? This gives, we're asking Andy to go forth with his fundraising, or what, because I don't remember that we had committed any funds from this as a town, just maybe.
Right, yeah, as far as I know, it was a case of, there wasn't going to be any funds from the town, so.
Right. I think at this point, we're approving the site plan and placement of the holes. There hasn't been a request for funding yet to the town, correct?
Yeah, well, yeah, at this point in time, I wasn't, again, it was kind of one of those things, I wasn't really sure. I was gonna look at what I've got going on. The first step is the baskets. Get the baskets put in. Kind of like Field of Dreams, when you build it, they will come. When the baskets are in, guys don't care if they throw off the dirt, right? Tee boxes are something that comes later on as things develop. So right now, the initial fundraising is for the baskets. And then after we get the baskets settled, then we can start building tee boxes, of which the vast majority of them are going to be out in the woods.
And so I think, Andy, you were, as soon as the plan was approved.
Because that was just it. I didn't want to go to any people around here and say, oh yeah, I got this great idea, and then all of a sudden somebody gives me money, and then it's not approved, and then I go, so I didn't want to ask anybody for any money until you guys said we're solid.
I'm completely comfortable, are you?
Okay, you're completely comfortable with the layout, 1A and 1B? And you are also comfortable with the
I would
layout?
make a motion that we approve the layout for the disc golf course as detailed on this map presented tonight.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you, Andy.
Okay, thank you
Go
very much.
forth and bring us golf.
Yes.
Yes, we need that.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Have a good night, Andy.
You too, guys.
Action regarding representative to the Berkshire Regional Transit Authority Advisory Board.
Oh, I guess you could do me again.
Great, I'll nominate Nadine Hopper to be Sheffield's representative to Berkshire Regional Transit Authority for the upcoming fiscal year.
And I'll second that. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
I'll abstain.
Okay, up to award of paving bids. This was kind of been a two-step process because we had set aside $600,000 for paving and at town meeting, and the bids came in, of course, above the $600,000. The bid is an Del Signor Blacktop, is that how you pronounce them? Paving Incorporated was the low bidder at $677,618.40. Seeing how we only put $600,000 aside at town meeting, we decided that we would use, well, we had to decide whether we would do Kellogg Road or just Boardman or parts thereof. We decided to actually take ARPA to finish out the bid, $100,000 from ARPA, which will give us hopefully more than plenty to finish paving both Boardman and Kellogg. We made that decision at our last working meeting. Now we have to award the bid.
I'll make a motion that we ratify our bid, our vote from Thursday's meeting to take $100,000 from ARPA and accept the Del Signor paving bid at $677,618.40.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, discussion action regarding grant application for highway safety. This came in from Chief Munson. Would you like to explain this grant a little?
So Chief sent over this grant that he would like to apply for. It would allow the police department to do targeted enforcement as well as purchase items, some of what may be those pole-mounted radar signs and things like that to try and help control speed. And I believe Renee has offered to help him with this grant, and I'm not sure, do you have the?
It's a maximum of 20,000
Right, and it's due,
toward the end of the month.
right, June 29th. Okay.
So I'd make a motion that we support this grant application, authorize our town administrator to sign it, and if a letter of support is needed from the select board, that we provide one.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Announcement of cost increase for transfer station coupons. So, basically, everything is going up, as everyone knows, with inflation, and transfer station is no different. So the proposal is to go up to $30 per coupon. Anything else, Renee? You're the...
I just really want to say that everybody has worked very hard on this, including checking with the haulers. I think we may have switched mattress people.
Yes.
Just really looking everywhere to try and avoid having to raise the prices, and from 25 to 30. I think it's been at 25 for several years, and it just wouldn't work out. I think the other thing that is interesting is people will still get 2 free coupons
Yes.
with their basic transfer sticker, and then after that they'll be available for $30. And in fact, those people who are depositing the items, whether it's in the multi-waste bin or whether it's in the recycling for mattress, are in fact paying for what they are disposing or recycling rather than spreading it across all of the transfer station users. So
Okay, very, very thorough.
So I'll make a motion that we raise the cost.
We didn't meet that, right?
No, this is just an announcement of the vote that you took.
Oh, we already did it.
All right.
Sorry. Just announce what we've already done.
Okay. So, has been announced, unfortunately, in the future, it probably will go up again, just like everything else, but for now, it'll be $30. Okay, action regarding one-day alcohol permit.
We're going to change that to permits. We received another one today from the same person, so we're just going to lump it in with.
So I would make a motion that we approve these for Ed Valentine. I'm trying to find the 2 dates.
June 10th and July 8th.
June 10th and July 8th, pending receipt of required insurance.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Thank you, Nadine.
You're welcome. I had my eyes right on those dates.
Okay, ratification of vote for the transit grant matching funds.
So, I appreciate very much that Nadine is willing to be Berkshire Regional Transit Authority representative from Sheffield. And my focus is much more on this Tri-Town connector. It's demand response transit. And we talked about this last year. They are applying for a very large state grant to continue the program that is currently in pilot between Great Barrington, Egremont, and Stockbridge. And this is a letter of support for that grant application, as well as a commitment of a $10,000 match contingent on the success of the Tri-Town Connector pilot over the coming year, and that there actually is a grant award under the program. So that's what the letter is about, and I would make a motion that we support this letter and have our chairman sign it.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, discussion possible action regarding draft donation request for ARPA funds. Renee drafted this application,
You all comment.
and we've all commented on it, we've all had directions. Anything, Rhonda, do you have any?
I just have a question on section 5. It's the required financial forms by the organizations. Are all the organizations that we're trying to target and help out going to be able to comply with that section?
It should be.
Maybe the wording just should be if required to file such financial forms.
So who would you potentially give money to that would not have to be?
I can't give you that off the top of my head, but
I'm just gonna pick one out of the air. So for instance, the food pantry, are they?
Wouldn't the church have to file? I mean, I definitely would be in favor, so how do you want to change this?
We either take it out and somewhere incorporate, you have it in here that you can ask for additional information if you need it. So you either take that out and put that in as an additional ask, or do as Nadine said, if requested. Instead of saying must,
Okay.
you know, must if asked or if requested.
I would like to make it so that when they fill out the application, if they have it, they submit it. I don't really want to put the burden.
so I think the wording should be if they were required to file such federal forms.
Okay,
Because it might be that the food pantry is
sure,
just
because they're
upset.
under the church.
Right.
Required to, so maybe,
All applicants must submit,
why don't we just make it simpler? Number 5, required financial forms for all ag organizations if required to file.
yep,
Correct. Okay.
Okay. I think the other thing that's really important is that the board made a major decision not to make this grants,
right.
which would have to have follow-up reporting and, you know, on and on and on and on, that the board is making this basically a donation to those to whom the donation will be given.
So the only thing I see that we still haven't decided is when is our submission date going to be?
Well, that was, if we pass this tonight, we can put this on the website, and what do you want to do? You want to make it a month? You want to make it 3 weeks? I think we want to make it on a Thursday. That always seems to be a better day to get it than on a Friday. But I don't care.
Yeah, the day of the week. I want to make sure that people have enough time.
Yeah, so I was
to
just
know
going to
about it.
recommend that we do as of September 1st. That gives us,
Could even go a little longer than that.
June, July, August is 90 months, is 90
90 days,
days.
correct.
90 months, 90 days. Oh, boy.
Okay, all right.
I thought 3 months was sufficient.
Okay, so-
Rhonda, you good with that?
And
So
Renee?
whatever, I'm fine. If I was in non-profit, I would want to get a donation sooner than that. to be honest,
That
but-
that doesn't mean we can't review them.
Oh, we can review, but I think we
No.
have to. So whatever's the closest to September 1st. I don't know if September 1st falls on a weekend or whatever. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion, we approve as written with the additional changes made.
I would second that.
Any further discussion or thoughts?
I think we did a great job. I think we really taken the time to do this. We got through a number of different issues to make it easier for nonprofits, so it was excellent teamwork, yes.
So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving moving on to board items. Nadine,
I don't have anything, Bob.
Renee?
I just want to wish all the graduates much success going forward in life.
Very good. I have nothing, Rhonda.
And nothing.
Okay, well, then we will move on to public comments. Dale?
My name is Dale Van Dusen. First off, I'll have a brief opening statement, but then I'm going to be, excuse me, seeking your guidance. In 2010, I signed off on an easement on the American Legion property for the septic system, thus saving the town since then over $90,000 in rental fees for the Louis Hall. We have continued doing fundraising to maintain our own properties. However, COVID set us behind, and we've not been able to keep up with what we want to do. We're trying to prepare the property as an emergency shelter, which is far beyond our capabilities. Now, we don't want the town of Sheffield paying for it. We have COVID money available, but for a limited time. The federal government's going to be taking that money back. We need your guidance on how to apply and how to do the upgrades. Now, those numbers are not fixed in stone. What I would recommend is going out, getting 2 to 3 bids for each project. Come back here, have you approve, and pay the bills directly. Don't send the money through us. But that, like I say, is up to you.
Okay, well, we haven't had time to digest this.
I understand.
I'm sure we'll get to that point here shortly. And there will be ARPA funds that we were just talking about for our application that will be coming up. I don't know about the payment parts. That would be, Rhonda would have to look into that part. Renee, you had questions?
So I was just a little confused. You said you have COVID funds available?
No, the town does, we don't.
Okay,
So you're talking about the
So
ARPA.
this is basically, I think, the third or fourth.
I'm sorry, I can't hear
This
it.
is basically the third or fourth time that this request has come forward in different formats. George has presented this quite a bit earlier in the game. I remember George talking in detail about, I think it was 120,000 at one point, but you have presented similar information in the past. We've just, probably this week, will have the application available.
Okay,
All right, you will need to, in my mind, apply just like anyone else. That's my take on this. I'm not, I can read this letter multiple times, but we do not, in my mind, have any funds available for any organizations at this moment that do not conform to the request for a donation that we just ratified.
Yeah, I agree, they're not gonna have to apply through the new application fund,
well, that was why we're here, to find out what needs to be done.
Well, that's why we just voted on the application tonight, so it will be becoming available shortly, and then we'll process it, and hopefully we'll be able to get onto it.
What we're trying to do here is just to make it so that it is an emergency shelter. This is not to do everything that we need to do. There's other things we'd like to do later on, like upgrading the restrooms to ADA, replacing carpet. We just want to get it up to an emergency shelter status.
So my concern, since you mentioned that, and let me just ask for clarification. Rhonda, do you have an idea of when the form that we just approved will be on the website for any nonprofit who wishes to download it and start the application?
At some point this week, I'm not gonna say tomorrow, but. it will
No,
be-
sometime this week. So it'll be under news on the website, you know.
The town website?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. My concern is that I believe at the present time, the senior center is a designated emergency shelter, and that is not something that the designation is given by the town. it is given under something that comes out of the Southern Berkshire Regional Emergency Planning Corporation or Committee
Right.
that's run out of Fairview Hospital. So have you spoken, I'm just kind of wondering why we would have two emergency centers
Well, we would
next
have
to
three,
each
because
other.
the school is
But
one
I was
too.
going to say the school is the big one, so I'm not sure why we would have two emergency centers right next door to each other.
So anyway,
So have you talked with them about this?
No, I have not.
Okay.
So you aren't really designated an emergency shelter at this time?
George,
George O'Leary here. According to information from Chief Munson, who I believe is the representative to the board, to that board, we are an emergency shelter. We have a commercial-sized kitchen there if needed, big enough room to serve, we can, lots of meals. Whereas this senior center has a small kitchen for that very reason. We have a commercial one right across the parking lot.
I'll check with Chief Munson.
Has been on as a designated shelter or center before the senior center was built.
All right, I'm going to check with Chief Munson because this is new information to me. I'll check with Heather as well as with the chief.
but whether it is or it isn't, you would still qualify to apply for the ARPA funds. So, my suggestion would be to read the application thoroughly and then use the application for what designated areas fit best for the application. Anything else?
That's it.
Any further questions from the board? Thank you. Anyone else for public comment tonight?
Sure. Mark Manoli, Boardman Street. I wanted to come before you today. I'm a little concerned about the rest of river proposal as it's standing right now. I'm having a lot of issues with it. I feel it's putting our town and the entire South County in jeopardy, health-wise, and also in terms of, financial problems too. There was a violation of the open meeting laws pertaining to those meetings. I feel that the whole arrangement and agreement that was made with GE and the DEP was in violation of the open meeting laws. I know that there may be some ongoing process with that, but my request that the board can discontinue any legal matters with that open violation meeting that's happening now, and I think there's a meeting tomorrow regarding that. And my request would be that we don't attend. I don't think that we need to be present at that. And I feel that the whole process was done in violation of open meeting laws. I'd like to move forward with some opportunities for the town to vote on this issue. I mean, we haven't heard from the people on how they feel about how the river should be cleaned. And I feel that this was, ramrod down our throats, and I don't feel that it was done properly.
Okay. And you are entitled to your opinion, but this has been going on for years and years and years. The open meeting violation was a very small infraction, which I do believe was remedied. And basically that was just that it wasn't specified as precisely as it should have been on the agenda. So it was
That's
reworded.
the reason.
That was-
I'm not getting into this.
Well, that was this open meeting violation.
And it was remedied.
Right. So anyway, Sheffield has been a part of this. We have set money aside for this,
Who approved that?
the select board
Town meeting.
and town meeting also.
Town meeting has approved every
Okay.
legal defense fund.
They approved the general legal defense fund, they didn't approve it specifically for this situation. I was at the town meeting.
There wasn't any approved this year, but it rolls over year to year, and it's been a specific warrant article for rest of the river that was approved.
I've been involved with this situation, it's coming on decades now, that this process has been ongoing with DEP and GE. And I feel that this exact proposal and an arrangement that has been made in agreement by the town with and the rest of the river, on the rest of the river committee was done inappropriately.
Well, that's a personal opinion. I think it's all been done quite well in the open. It's been discussed, it's been represented.
It was brought to the town meeting that we would receive $1 million from GE for this thing. I don't recall that happening in public.
Well, do you have any other comments you'd like to make?
Yeah, I'd like to make a proposal that the town actually have an opportunity to vote on this situation and what the process should be. I feel this is endangering me, my family, and the rest of South County, the whole entire Berkshire County. What's gonna happen? We're gonna sit here for 10 years while trucks go up and down the Route 7 up to Lennox with PCB-laden sediment dripping out of those trucks to make a toxic dump up in Lennox, in Lee. I'm against that.
Well, I'm sorry, it was allowed back in the day when GE did it, and it is in the river, we live with it, they're trying to remedy it as best they can. There's been a lot of hours and a lot of time spent by a lot of people, and so far this is the best we've come up with. So I thank you for your time.
It's a terrible thing. I disagree with it, and I think the town should have an ability to vote on it as a whole. We have not, as the people of this town, voted on this matter. I know that. No town has. This agreement was made. This
Because
agreement,
we have a organization that is working on it, and representatives that are working on it.
I think a 3-minute time limit. This is public comment, it's not Q&A.
I haven't been asking questions. I'm making a statement. I'm allowed to make a public
Right, you
statement.
have 3 minutes
Yeah.
to make a public statement.
Okay, well, I'd like
That's expired.
You were timing?
We will take your comments under advisement, really.
Thank you. Well, I would like to make a proposal for a vote on this matter within the town, and I will proceed forward with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I would make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Bye.
Aye.